Hey everyone, welcome back to the Economist podcast. We are very excited today. We are going to do another shot. Here we go. So as you know, I'm Barry 3D. On my side, as always, is
Rod C. Let's go.
Woo! And as
DJ
you know,
Rod C.
you know where to find us. And on top of it, we'll just keep this really quick and short. If you want to get any work done, digital stuff, you reach out to our boy, the one and only
J Bird Digital Art. The Joker.
Mr. Jason Reese, Jaybird Digital Arts. You mentioned that you heard about him on the Economist podcast. He'll give you a discount. And you know where to find us, iconist.podbean.com and all that stuff. Remember, we're also part of the Subculture Network, Subculture Podcast Network. And of course, keep an eye out for Larry Reclazato. He's always on the show. And he's got his Facebook page, which is Forgotten Heroes, Forgotten, Obscure, and Underrated Heroes. So, okay, there we go. So the reason we're rushing through this is a hot shot. We're just gonna get down to the brass tacks of it. Is I watched the latest Masters of the Universe. Rod just finished watching Masters of the Universe, and sometimes we end up talking and we say we should have just kept hitting record. So this time we just hit record and we're just going right into it. So we made a comment in one of our other episodes about Hordak. Yes, okay. So Rod, now that we've watched it, what did you think of this latest rendition of Masters of the Universe? Kevin Smith one.
It is. Listen, Kevin Smith, you're in the words of Kevin Smith, you're doing the Lord's work. I'm just gonna say that.
Genius.
In the words of Kevin Smith, I'm just gonna say, in the words of Kevin Smith, you're doing the Lord's work. You're doing the Lord's work. The Lord is up there, like saying,
"Wow,
that's my boy.
That's my boy." Mad genius. Okay, let me set some terms. Okay, so first of all, if you haven't seen it yet, there will be spoilers in the episode. So please do not watch this show.
Give me a heads up right now.
We'll be dropping spoilers on the latest Masters of the Universe. Okay, so turn it off. Watch one of our other videos. We're okay. When you finish watching, you come back.
Come back.
All right.
Master Universe, so now you've been warned. Revolution.
So
Revelation was the other one. This is Revolutions.
Revolution. So let me tell you something right now. Revolution. So first of all, when I realized they were bringing in, and I started last time with Rod, we go, well, they brought in Hordak. And I said, and I told Rod, and this is what started off, and Rod had to go back and watch it. When I say you bring in Hordak, you can't bring in Hordak without Andrea. You can't have Batman without Joker. You can't have Spider-Man without the Green Goblin. You can't have He-Man without Skeletor. You can't have Hordak without Andrea. Okay? Yeah. You can't. It's
blasphemy.
It would blasphemy. It would hurt me on a molecule level if you did that. You can't do that. So now we know that Hordak was the big bad coming in this one. I kept saying, where's Andrea? Now, I know how they've played it off. I know.
Yeah.
So Hordak's in there. Hordak's doing his thing. And then at one point, they do a flashback where the Hordak is running out the palace. And if you look in Hordak's arms, he's holding something, someone.
And there's a basket, if I remember, there's a bassinet where there's one, and Hordak's at the window. You know what? I didn't even focus on what's in his arm. All I realized is that the bassinet has one. There was a body. Let's make it sound like that. There's one body in the bassinet, right? And Hordak's at the window with his foot on the ledge, like he's about to jump out. I'm like, oh yeah, it's about to go down. Yes, we are keeping. It's proper. I'm like, okay, cool. So I didn't go back to see if something. I'm sure something was in his arm, but I'm like, as soon as I saw that whole position, the layout of the scene, I'm like,
tail end of a little blankie. It's a tail end of a little blankie that's in his arm. It's really small. You know he's holding something. He's cradling something. He's something. That kind of ha-ha. And you know Hordak can change shapes. He can change his lower half into a rocket ship. He out. Like our logo. He out.
You know, joke. They didn't do that yet. I'm waiting for them to do that in the second half. They didn't do that yet. He didn't transform anything like that.
Oh, hold on. In the 5 episodes, did you watch all 5 episodes?
Yeah, did he? I guess I'm just.
In the last, when he's having a big fight with Skeletor, at one point he transforms his arm into a cannon, and at one point he transforms his lower half into a rocket ship. And then Skeletor
that's right. They did. Sorry, yes, I did jump. I internally jumped when I saw that. You're right. Sorry, my bad. My so apologies. You're right. I did see that. I was like, oh my god, they did that. And then everything else. But Okay, so let me.
Yes. So that was it. So when I saw that moment, he kidnapped the baby. I had the joy. You have to understand, it's
The
as a
joy.
comic book fan, we like to have things accurate. So it was. I had the same level of joy when I was watching Daredevil. Or sorry, the Iron Fist, right? And had
Mm.
Misty Knight in there. And every time I was watching Iron Fist and I was looking, Simone who plays Misty Knight, I'm like, okay, she's got to have the arm. She's got to lose the arm. She's got to lose the arm. The arm's good. And every time they did something to the arm, like she got shot in the arm, I'm like, oh, that's it. Bionic arm. Oh, no, it's not it. Oh, she got hit there. Oh, no, okay. So when she finally lost her arm in the series, everyone must have been going, oh my God, that's terrible. I was like, yes, yes, yes. I felt like Bryan Danielson from AEW. Yes, yes, yes. I was so happy because I know she's gonna get the bionic arm. So when I saw that Hordak was jumping out a window with two bassinets, one had it looked like a child in it, and I saw he
Yeah.
had something cradled in his hands. I'm like, that's Andrea. Yes, yes, yes. I was extremely happy that he kidnapped the child. Now I'm not downing. I'm not about
100%.
children.
I'm waiting for you to finish. I'm saying we're not promoting.
Right, right. I don't condone kidnapping children at all or trafficking in any way. But because this was an established part of the storyline and it's a huge plot, okay,
it needs to be done. It needed to be done.
It needed to be done. It needed to be done. And then at the very end, when they did their two post-credit scenes, so Teela now, not Teela, so it's not Evil Lynn, it's Good Lynn. She becomes, one of the cosmic watchers. And I'm like, okay, cool. She gets a chair. Like, all right, that's awesome. But then this female figure walks in with all armor, and don't worry, Hordak. Horde Prime will take care of you. And then she takes off the helmet. Now we know it's a she because the way she's drawn, you can tell the female curves. And the helmet comes off. I was like, yes, yes, yes. We know that's Andrea. Now, if you know your He-Man history, understand something real quick. Andrea did not start off as a hero. She was in the original run. She was kidnapped by Hordak, brainwashed, raised as one of his force commanders. When Hordak is invading, she was there. She worked her way up the ranks and became like she's like the Mara
Jade. His number one general.
This is number one general. Number one general. Exactly. She was Mara Jade to the Emperor with Darth Vader. Okay. If you don't know Mara Jade, you got to go and look and read those books. Okay. Heir to the Empire and everything like that. Okay. So this is when I saw that means Kevin Smith needs to come back and do 5 more episodes because that's the only way we're going to get her to go from Andrea to She-Ra.
She-Ra. She-Ra. There is no way we're not getting a season 3 because the season 3 is going to be that because the remaining 5 is going to basically be a very stretched out of that movie when they had them come together the first time. Adam went and found his sister. Didn't realize his sister, but at that time, like Barry said, she was an evil general under Hordak's rule, and they stretched out that movie for about an hour and a half or whatever the TV show at that time, and they stretched it out. The next 5 episodes is going to be that, and to me, is going to be the final run is where, can he really squeeze it in? My head is really trying to think, can he actually squeeze it in 5? I hope not. Because I want to see her come in. We're going to see, they can't. Sorry. My mind is trying to, ladies and gentlemen, mine is.
So here it is, right? Here's my thing. 5 episodes, 20-something minutes each. Can it be done? So I know.
It'll be tight.
I think that maybe they could. Hear me out though, right? So I'm just saying they can bring in She-Ra. You're not going to get She-Ra's full story. So you're going to get her coming in, invading Eternia. You're going to get her doing the whole Force Commander thing. You're going to get Teela.
100%. 100%.
Dealing with her and trying to say, hey, and trying to show her memories and finally say, you were kidnapped. You realize this Adam's your brother and sister. And then maybe in episode 4, episode 4, she's going to, wait a minute. I was, taken from my parents.
Right.
Hordak is evil. Here's a sword. Right. He-Man's injured. I got to help out He-Man. And Teela, right, as a new sorcerer, is going to say, hey, why don't you take this sword, this other power sword? And at the end of episode 4, she go pull it out and become She-Ra, and then give 5 across the eyes in episode 5 as She-Ra.
Dang it, you're right. We might be able to squeeze it in 5. I didn't want to squeeze it in.
Don't say it's done yet. And then at the
I know that
at the end of episode 5, when everything is done, the battle is okay, everyone's kind of thing, they're gonna do another post-credit scene, and she's gonna say, "Hey, Adam, I gotta go back to my planet and redeem myself."
Yeah.
And start a rebellion there. Because we haven't seen any of, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Because I wanted that part to be in the 3rd season. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I was thinking more of that was going to be in the 3rd season. So at the beginning of the 3rd season,
I see what you're
that's
saying.
when she basically starts to put 2 and 2 together and or at least trail it off that basically at the end of it, maybe she will at least Hordak is evil. Maybe something, and maybe at the last minute just change sides, but then at the last minute maybe go to touch the sword or something like that. Season 2 done. Season 3. Now we're going in like right. So that's where my mind is. Like we could squeeze it right in. I was kind of hoping we can get it to the third. Right. I will tell you this that Motherboard. Motherboard to me, I was like, again, I'm the same way. Because at the time that Motherboard was introduced, we didn't get the flashback as yet. So I was like, we're talking about Hordak. Is Motherboard, because at a certain time when Skeletor was embarrassing her, and she basically said, if you ever do this again, it would be the last time you embarrassing me. I'm like, that's some hard stuff. She's just basically letting him know, don't play around. And I was thinking that if she did that, I was like, I wonder if they're renaming her title to call her, and Andrea was supposed to be like Motherboard in the sense of being like his number one general. First making the first wave. Because that's where my mind was thinking. Right. So until the end credit, because at that point I was thinking, could that have been her? But I'm like, could she have been in some type of outfit that just gave her digital powers? Right. So that's I was like, I was a 50-50 on that. I was a 50-50 because at that time she was the only predominant female evil character at the time. So I was kind of hoping, but they did it perfectly until I heard her name, like you said, her title, Overlord or whatever. I'm like saying, oh, there it is. That's who you are. Congratulations. We're going to have some fun. Oh my God. Oh, listen. And even, listen, Keldor, even that part was making me die with laughter. First off, I was like, I know that voice. No, I didn't get this guy to do that voice.
Yeah, he did.
That voice. Guy, pause. Unpause. I was like, they got Captain K.
Yes.
William Shatner.
William Shatner was the voice of Keldor. Skeletor is Mark Hamill. It's a mind blown. Star Trek, Star Wars. Remember the Uber Eats commercial where it was Shatner and Mark Hamill going back and forth against each other, making jokes? Here we are again. Like, I don't know, Kevin Smith, you beautiful genius.
Doing the Lord's work, sir.
And the writers,
doing the Lord's work.
You know what? Okay, so that there, where they're playing off each other because they're showing, and it's really different sides of his personality. Like your schizophrenia, one voice is William Shatner, your other voice is Mark Hamill. Oh my gosh, I was just losing it.
Listen, I was mentally losing it because as far as I recall from my history, I knew Keldor is Skeletor. Right, but he's playing off like he's not. I'm like thinking, no, I know. Like, so, but at the beginning, they played off completely separate until they revealed that he was under the guise. And I'm like, oh, you're under the guise. No problem. But Skeletor was still thinking that I'm playing a part until the Hordak said, no, you're playing off of the real story, which is you, son. Come on, son. What? I was like,
seeds.
I'm doing the Lord's work.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, I gotta keep saying that, huh? When it comes to
Yeah,
Kevin Smith, I'm gonna say that. Holy, sorry, go
he
on.
is. He like this was epic. It was like I couldn't stand. And here's what got me right. Kevin Smith sat down and said, "All right, let me look at everything He-Man. You know, Kevin Smith. All right, dude, let me look at everything that's He-Man. Okay, so we got this, and you know, Kevin Guy's got those eyes. It's like, all right, so we got the filmation stuff, then we got the DC stuff, and then we got the mini comics that came out when we got the action figures. Okay, so people might be confused why Tila took on that serpentine green skin look. But if you read the He-Man mini comics from back in the days when you bought the figures that had the one hand closed, one hand open, and flexing all their muscles in there, the sorceress, her outfit was never the bird costume. Her outfit was always the snake-like costume with the head. They evolved into Tila's look at one point. But that was sorceress at first, was the sorceress.
Right.
So for years, when it was always the bird costume, I'm like, oh, okay, cool, that's the sorceress. But and then you saw Tila had that look. But the fact that they gave her the whole green skin outfit like the sorceress when He-Man was a barbarian from the mini comic books, I was done. Done.
Yeah.
That's it. Cross arm, closed casket, 6 feet under, done. Okay.
We're done.
I'm like, how cool is that? And then he used all three aspects and her mini quest to kind of make back Eternia, which is their heaven for all their heroes to go to. Eternia. What? Okay. And then you took it one further and you brought in the Keymaster from Dolph Lundgren, Masters of the Universe.
Listen, my head was shaking because when he opened the door and I saw him, I'm like, I feel you're from here. Hear me out. And I'm like, I can visually, it's a cartoon, it's animated, but I'm like, there's, and until you just said, honestly, I will say right now, because I didn't go back to look where will was it Gwendor was from in that sense. But I knew he was from the universe. He was from the Dolph universe.
He was never in the cartoon. He never had a cartoon version of him.
That's what I'm looking at. I'm like,
animated,
I could see him more realistic. I could see him more alive, like real. And I'm like thinking, but then I went somewhere left, like Lord of the Rings. Please forgive me. Don't kill me for that. It was weird. And I just like, no, it's not that. But it's like, I couldn't figure, I need to see him. I could see him vividly, live, like the real hair kind of fur kind of thing. But I'm like, something's wrong. Like I couldn't put my finger on it until you just said, that's the reason. Holy Toledo, Batman.
Okay, so here's a couple more deep tips for you. So when Wildor shows up and he mentions, it's like, oh no, I don't want to go on another adventure. Every time you guys come and knock on my door, I go on an adventure. That means that what happened in the Dolph Lundgren He-Man live action film did happen through He-Man. He went to Earth. Okay, which means those other villains and heroes that were there were, there. I know at the end of it looks like Skeletor died, but he survived. But that means all his adventures on Earth happened. They're canon in the Masters of the Universe cartoon. So this brings off, here's another deep cut for you. So one, there was a guy and a girl, humans, right? They were like the Marvin and Wendy from the Super Friends. They had their Marvin and Wendy in the He-Man Master Universe. So that means they're there on Earth. Yeah. They know about He-Man and Eternia. Where's He-Man's mom?
I see what you're doing. Yeah.
Where's He-Man's mom from? Where's Prince Adam's mom from?
Oh, she's from Earth.
Right. That's why she said in the series, I'm an alien.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah, I knew that. I knew that one. I already knew that one. But you know who she was playing? Who was playing her? I didn't realize this from the first one. Gabe McFadden, Dr. Crusher. Oh, yeah, just listen. Oh, do you want to know another one? Granamar, the dragon.
Yeah.
I knew his voice sounded somewhere, but I just couldn't pin it, and I had to look. Q. I'm sorry, man. It's like 3 Star Treks to 1, the Sun and 1 Star Wars. Come on, Mark. But Mark has a Force, so I'm okay. He can keep up with them. That's why I'm not worried about
it. Right. Okay. See, okay. So this is what blows my mind is that all these little deep cuts that they're putting in there in 5 episodes. You see how many deep cuts they put in there to tell this story, and it was so rich. It was so inviting. I was excited watching it. Like I'm a grown man watching He-Man, and it's like watching He-Man again. Not even watching He-Man when I was first watched He-Man. This is even beyond a level I never
100%.
thought we would get.
100%. Listen, even when
He-Man takes the sword and puts it on top of Grayskull and he turns it like the key. Like,
I'm like, listen, what are we doing the toys? Because they remember he did that. He did it on the first one. Remember, or at least you were saying that. I remember in the two when they went to Snake Mountain, and him and Tila had to basically cross over. That's part of the toy. So I remember that. And I was like, Kevin made sure at least every season at least has one toy reference.
I'm just checking. I'm just checking my pulse. I'm just checking my pulse.
It's all good. It's all good. Listen, even when Andrea gave him, okay, he had to give away the sword to get upgraded. And even that sword, I got to go back to that because that sword splitting like that probably that's a Dolph one, right?
I think that's a Dolph Lundgren thing. And it also reminds me of the other Netflix He-Man cartoon.
Maybe that's where. No.
There was so much. I got to watch that series again with pleasure.
Honestly. But here's one thing I want to say. Here's one thing I want to say that with the sword splitting up, like I knew it looked familiar. So it's probably Dolph. So I'm going to have to come back to that. But when Andrea was saying that, hey, here, take this, and gave him that chest plate, I was like, come on, son. I'm like.
Armor damage He-Man.
Yo. I was like,
no, you didn't. And they gave him the battle axe.
Listen. You just basically feel like you're like a full grown man just taking the toy and just going do. That's all it was.
That's a job I need, man. That's a job we need. It just wrecked my head. Even the jokes in there where Cringer turns around and is like, "Hey, Adam, whatever you decide to do, I'm with you all the times." And they change and he goes, "Wait a minute, let me ask you a question. You mean all those years?
Yes.
You changed me into Battle Cat. You just could have hugged me to change me. You didn't have to point the sword at me." And Adam was like,
Hilarious.
You could have hugged me to change me. You didn't have to point the sword at me.
Hilarious. Listen, that was
evil. Because he's still a young guy, right? He's gonna have his moments like,
gotcha.
Everyone always teases your cat. If you got a cat, you tease your cat. You got a dog, you tease your dog.
It was yeah. Listen, even at that point when he was already when Cringer was Battle Cat, like saying, "Listen, I'm going to follow your decision, but I feel I should have a say in this as well." I'm like, "Oh, Battle Cat is fighting you!" Like I really like being your Battle Cat. I'm like, "Oh, little moment."
Most of the time, he's always like, "Oh, Adam, no."
Just letting you know, I really do. But then at the end, you mean you could have just at least hugged me? Hilarious. I saw that. That was
that's like humor. Go on, Kevin. So, Hila, okay, man at arms, now he's man of war.
Yes.
He upgraded. He was like the Iron Man right there. The king passing away. Okay, that was sad, and it makes it even more tragic because that means by the time Andrea realizes who her father and her mom are,
right,
never had that right
opportunity. Yep.
Yeah, she never had the opportunity nor a dad, so that's going to be some emotional stuff that she's going to have to deal with. And I keep thinking that so far they keep mentioning Earth. I feel something it's got to be okay. We know the Queen's from Earth. We know Gwildor says, "Oh, hey, the adventures we had on Earth." You're mentioning it. And there's still characters. There's still 2 people unaccounted for on Earth that have not come over to Eternia yet, or vice versa. And don't forget, like we had the Christmas special where they did the Christmas special once again, where He-Man and She-Ra were on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
That's when they had to learn about Santa Claus with Orko and Cringer and fighting Skeletor, right? That was on Earth. And even in that cartoon, there was a couple other Earthlings, let's just call them, Earthlings that were there. So these are characters that are just floating in the wind right now who might get pulled in, or we might see again, even as a deep cut moment. Like a little bit grown up. Remember me? You came to Earth X amount of years ago.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Um, I mean, the He-Man cartoon, I think it was like, not sorry, the comic book. I'm not sure if it was like Boone Comics. I think it was doing it or Image. I think it was Boone. Anyways, the comic book was. If you read the how they ended that whole storyline with He-Man, it was really well done. Like Brian told me, my brother told me to check it out, and I did, and holy crap, amazing.
Okay.
So this is up there with that by far. 5 episodes, and he just wrecked. And I mean this in a good way. Like he wrecked all expectations of how it should be, how to take the
Yeah.
lore from every single place and bring it back. Like and making sense. It's like, hey, I'm giving away my sword. It's like, hey, He-Man doesn't have his sword. Let's get him. And they try to attack him. He stops, one of them with one hand. And it's like, I don't need my sword to fight you guys. I'm ready as He-Man. All right, let's go. And the thumpings he gave them all.
The thumpings.
The thumping.
Yeah.
So, the whole storyline with him and his dad finally realizing that Adam is He-Man, and they kind of wrapped it up. So he's finally proud of his son before he passed away. Great. The fact that he's accepted his death, and he didn't want to be saved or use magic to save him. All right, that was a tragic moment. It advances the story. Great. Mom is still there. Mom is like, hey, well, I'm an alien. Okay, wait a minute. You from Earth. She never went back. Okay, that's on. Now, in my mind, all the time, this is off this subject for half a second. I always said, because of a certain things, I always said in my mind that He-Man at some point should have crisscrossed with Blackstar. Because Blackstar, too, was an astronaut from Earth. And we don't know if he left Earth around the same time or was part of the same program as Prince Adam's mom.
Maybe one was looking for the other. Maybe one was looking for the other. We have a ship. Listen, I got a 2.5 billion ship that's outside there. I get no indication that it exploded or nothing. We just can't find it. We got to build another one. Can you go and get my first ship, please? Thank you very much. And because she went through some kind of time. Anyway, we won't.
Once again, right? Like, so we don't know. We don't know. We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know. We don't know. But very similar, huh? Both of them left Earth in spaceships and then got lost in other dimensions and then fought the oppressors on that world to be the hero. Okay. But yeah, so the Teela, sorceress, Prince Adam as He-Man, then and then Prince Adam stays as He-Man. So the thing is now, does Teela revert? Well, Teela is Teela. She's not going to revert back to her body type, so to speak. She isn't. But when it ended with Adam just staying as He-Man. And it seems like the two of them finally admit that, like, hey, we like each other. We're going to go forward for a relationship. I know some people are like them as brother and sister, but I like the fact they get together. Now, hopefully they don't split them up over something stupid, because that now leads to the future, right? Because there's always a hero. And the fact that when they showed Preternia and you see all the heroes there from the past kind of and they're there for season 1 too, that all the past people that were He-Man, so all the different ones, like the caveman version one, Hero, all of them were there. And it's like, wow. King Grayskull himself.
Exactly. And if you remember, even from the first season, they basically stayed in their particular He-Man form. Now, the first Grayskull, I took it that the first Grayskull he was already in that shape.
Oh, yeah.
He was already in that shape.
That was his normal look.
That was his normal look. But any of the others, it seems like they just stayed in that particular form already. So it was interesting when Adam did go to Preternia, that because when he passed away, refresh my memory. When he passed away, did he pass away in He-Man form or in Adam form?
No, I think he passed away in Adam form.
Okay. I'm just trying to recall that right now.
Right. If I remember
just
right.
Trying to recall.
And anyone out there, you can correct us,
Right. Please do.
Old age memory. But
I'm just thinking, did he transfer in that same, or was he He-Man and he transferred down to Adam when he went up?
Oh, no, I think he really did pass away as Adam.
As Adam. I think so. Okay. Just to refresh my memory. Okay, cool. But listen, the whole revolution.
It makes sense. I'm on my Shazam shirt here for this because, Captain Marvel, he starts as a boy, turns into a man, fights, gets magic powers. He-Man, Prince Adam, same thing. So as I said, each character arc, I loved it. I loved how they the sorceress is now gone and Tila's a new sorceress, how it almost
Mhm.
ties back into the mini comic books. Her look ties back to the mini comic books. The relationship is advanced. Curious to see what's going to happen for the future for them or the next couple episodes, but we know Hordak is coming. The only line that got me is at one point Motherboard was talking to Skeletor. And she turns around and she goes, "Yeah, don't ever, don't ever embarrass me," along those lines. But it's something about, don't let me tell your father. So I wasn't sure if she was referring to Hordak as his father, or is there another
Mm.
character we don't know about? Right? Is there another character that's above Hordak and Skeletor? I can't remember from the original series. I'm gonna have to do some digging on that to find out. We got to talk about this more again. But so dang good.
I don't know if it's. Oh, true. Now, yeah, I'm trying to remember that now, because basically, like you said, Hordak was saying Skeletor was his accolade, his
Right.
apostle in that regard.
Yeah.
So, was there anybody above Hordak? I don't
Right.
believe so. I don't
Well,
believe so.
there's
We'll
times.
look at that. We'll look at that.
Yeah. Horde Prime is the only being of authority over Hordak. So Horde Prime. I don't know who Horde Prime is. Here we go. As well as Horde inspectors for entire good. Okay, yeah. So there's a Horde Prime. So there's a Horde Prime that's over Hordak.
Okay.
That's going to be interesting.
That may be in the third one because it said Horde Prime, She-Ra, and the Princess of the Universe of Power. So basically, it's more on that lore on that
Yep.
end.
Yep. Horde Prime. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, looking forward to this one. I just gotta
Oh,
say, it's Kevin Hart. You're right. He doing the Lord's work. That was
this is Lord's
amazing.
work.
Well done. So many deep cuts, and then putting so many pieces together in this universe and merging them all in. You
Yeah.
know, I I mean, sure, probably someone's gonna say, "Oh, I didn't like this or I don't like that," and that's normal. But overall, loved it. I think this was dead on as a series. I was excited. All I'm saying is She-Ra. Okay, I can't
It's happening.
wait. I
It's
can't
happening.
wait to see
It's
when
happening.
she grabs that sword, and they're gonna drag it out for that season, which is
That's
fine.
it.
Which is fine because they have to turn around and show her as a force commander first before she starts going to the power of good.
I just remembered
Mm.
how the She-Ra segued, how the sources how the whole storyline segued into She-Ra. Sorry, was that the sources was in Grayskull, and again, Grayskull is a mystical place that there are unknown rooms, unknown action, especially now that this room is completely brand new. This whole building is new to Tila. Her mother, who was tethered to the basement per se, is now in Preternia. Now you don't have easy access to call mom. Get downstairs, mom, wake up. I'm a little confused on what's going on. My child, my little bird. I can help you. Now, like, dang it, I can't reach mom. So, mom, what's in room number 44? Now, the dictionary, the directory just left the building. The official Grayskull directory had just left the building. So now she's going to be unknown because if I remember correctly, that part of it turned out that Sorceress was just sleeping. And all of a sudden
Yes,
she's getting dinging noise, like this noise kind of like, yo,
yes,
I never heard this before. When did this door appear type of scenario? Turning like Doctor Who in the TARDIS, which is basically fourth dimension inside. Like there's a whole bunch of rooms that just divvy up into different part of the universe that no one have access, magical access. Her sword is waiting there. What is her sword again? Holy, come on now, son.
it's Sword of
This
Power and Sword. Is it Sword of Truth or something?
I'm gonna check it out just now. Oh my goodness. But that's hilarious.
I'm telling you. So
Um
as fans, I would say this is just like an episode. We're just fanboying over what this episode could be, and sorry, these group of episodes were, and what they could be for the future. And that's why you got to keep healthy because yeah, you
I
know
gotta live to see this.
I got to live to see this. I got to see how this plays out. I got to, and Netflix got to give us a release date. Hopefully, it's not going to be as long as the last time. From season, the last batch.
Sword of
And
protection. Sword
oh
of
yeah,
protection.
that's right because her sword can transform into a shield, a rope, and different things.
Right.
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 It's got a
Right.
gem in it. Yep. His is the
Right.
sword of power. His is the sword of protection. Here
Right.
we go. Yep. I feel like those two Muppets. Yep.
Yep, yep.
All right, here we go. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. All right. So that's it. So, Rod, we'll wrap this up real quick, man. So, what are you hoping to see? What's the main thing you're hoping to see in the next group of episodes of Masters of the Universe?
Listen, well, we're already saying it. We want to see Andrea come to fruition. I want to see her battle the heroes of Eternia and basically saying, like, you did my stepfather, my uncle bad. I'm here to take you out, and basically have a back and forth war. Because if she's supposed to be as tough as she is, I'm expecting at least 2 or 3, like episode 2, episode 3 of some good fighting between them, and then have her just basically be awakened by her presence activates it. She comes across to this portal, come through the portal, come on this side. Grayskull and I really like, the sword in the back starting to make noise because the owner is here.
Yeah.
That to me is what I'm expecting. That's exactly what I'm expecting.
All right. For me, I'm expecting a little bit more ties to Earth. I want to see how Earth ties into Eternia. That's for one. And 2, I want to see the rebels from the She-Ra cartoon making appearances or some noise or something. They got to start showing up. That's what I'm looking forward to see. But definitely, I want to see Force Captain Andrea, and of course, at the end, grab that sword and hear that She-Ra music hit. That's it. I can't even think anymore. So we're gonna sit down and we're gonna have to kind of go through these episodes and really get down to the brass tacks. We did it originally. But yes, once again, everyone, thank you for tuning into a shot here with the Iconics podcast, Masters of the Universe. On that note, remember, this whole world was created by a pencil, a piece of paper, and lots of imagination. Keep on dreaming, keep on supporting Kevin on his ventures, and maybe we can do Blackstar and kind of together. All right, cool. That's it. Yeah.
Let's go.